welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV. We talked to all these last time, right? It was like kind of in a hurry. Yeah, you and me both. I don't really do well with money in real life. Not that I'm like super poor or anything, but not exactly a millionaire. Not even 100,000 there. Although if I'd never taken my trip to Japan back in 2016, I might be up. I would have been closing in on 100K, I guess. Well, that's kind of depressing to think about. Of course, I didn't have to go overboard like I did when I went to Japan, but then again, I wouldn't have enjoyed myself quite as much if I hadn't. Either way, we're going on Carvilian's pirate ship. It's a classic Final Fantasy staple. And now that I think about it, Alice being unsure about it is actually par for the course, because the very first...
be praised. Full sure was I that I had come too late.
Huh.
Urianger! Tell me you haven't come all this way just to see us off.
Nay, my lady. Ere you quit these shores for eastern climes, I wished to share some words of seeming import.
Seeming import, huh? They better actually be important,
Look ye
dude.
where the sun doth rise. See crimson embers, darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall. See azure lost amidst the squall.
Well, that sounds suitably foreboding. Another one of your prophecies, I presume?
Of far eastern origin, aye. It is mine earnest hope that this ancient wisdom may serve to guide you on your journey. For what dangers lie in wait for you upon those distant shores are yet beyond my knowing.
I'm glad you're concerned, man, but those two lines of dialogue or whatever the fuck mean absolutely jack shit.
Ugh. A parting gift befitting your roundabout ways. Thank you.
I have more than words for you, my lady.
It's beautiful. Is it for me?
New rapier, huh?
Though undeniably powerful, your ethereal blade taxeth you greatly in the wielding. Not so this rapier, which shall serve you just as well against all but the most formidable foe.
Impressive. It feels as though it's attuned to my ether. I shall treasure it.
Honored guests, say your farewells, for the moment of our parting draws nigh. A fair wind blows, and I mean to follow it.
Man, he sounds like a dandy. But I love it.
It would seem our ship is set to sail. Pray give my regards to Thancred and the others. And take care.
Got some notches in the hull there. Seen some shit like any actual ship. I like that. I like that. Is that supposed to be like a griffin? Like I don't know what you call the front. You think I would know these having been in the Navy, but no, I was on submarines. Here we got our map showing how we're traveling again. Oh, Gonna sail past Thavnir. Hmm.
A fine day, is it not? Fair winds and following seas. The Misery is enjoying herself.
Guess that's the name of his ship. This wouldn't be the part where you ambush us and try to swindle us, is it? Because that's what pirates tried to do in Final Fantasy II.
Nevertheless, it would not do for you to spend the entirety of our voyage above deck. Let me show you to your quarters.
I think I've mentioned it before during the course of this Let's Play, but in Final Fantasy I, you beat up some pirates and you take their ship. In Final Fantasy II, some pirates trick you into thinking they're a fairy, and then they try to beat you up and take your shit, so you beat them up and then persuade them to join the rebellion against the Empire and take their ship. And then in the third game, you...
No! Is it supposed to do that?
Not under normal circumstances.
Captain! You're needed on deck! Something queer's afoot. The winds died down, the waters went still, and all of a sudden, we were dragged off course.
Dragged? By what?
Can't rightly say, sir. But some of the lads are muttering about seeing things in the water. Things that shouldn't be there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, for the love of... If you will excuse me a moment. Actually, might I persuade you to join me? Loath though I am to admit it, I have a bad feeling about this.
Sure thing, babe. I need to kick some ass to feel better. After, you know... Wait, really? You can just go... Okay, I mean, it has to be an instanced area, so... There's got to be a way for you to come back to it, right? If you decided, like, you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm not interested in this pirate ship that I'm on. I'm not interested in seeing what's around. But, let's switch over to the Dark Knight. Because... I wanna, you know... take advantage of some stuff. Armor up anyway, you know. More durable is better. Does seem sort of like Odin weather. But what would Odin be doing out at sea? Although it's a bit foggy for Odin weather. But that could be the natural fog of the sea, you know. An excellent suggestion based on knowledge you should not have. Alas, our engines appear to be malfunctioning for reasons that escape my engineers at present. Seawolf superstitions and fairy tales, not more, but if you must know, the things which he is so reticent to name are the souls of deceased women said to lure sailors to their deaths. Preposterous! Yes, indeed. If it is neither the sea nor the weather which is responsible, then it is probably a predatory entity of some sort, perhaps a siren or some such. For all we know, it could be a fellow spice trader employing magics to seize and plunder passing vessels. Just being all bold and dynamic. And Alphanod's like scared of ghosts, I guess. Ugh. Siren Song C, now accessible. Now this is the first dungeon. Oh, it's going to be anyway. Well, let's be about it then. Let's turn off this join in progress thing just in case, you know. I want to show the whole dungeon anytime I show these things. Oh, 7 minutes. Oh, man. See, this is why I wanted to make it here last video, but I didn't quite make it. It's quite the problem with these Let's Plays, you know. But maybe we'll get in sooner than 7 minutes. I hope we do. Ugh. I don't want to leave the ship. Well, this would be considered a leveling dungeon, and adventure in need for leveling dungeons is tank, so the second we have somebody, you know, like a healer and DPS queue that are level 61 and higher for leveling roulette, they should be able to be thrust into this dungeon queue with us. So I've done all I can to make the queue faster. Wish we could talk to this guy. Or gal? Oh, okay, it's a... I think it's a gal. Okay, gummit. If I was a Lalafell, I'd be able to make sure. I'm pretty sure it's a girl. A goyle. Let's see. Well, I mean, since we're queued now, we can actually go other places. As silly as that is. I guess we could go check Golden Saucer results real quick. See if I won the Jumbo Cactopot from last Saturday, unless I already picked that up and forgot about it. I have a devil of a time keeping track of if I've picked up my Jumbo Cactopot or, you know, put my tickets in or what have you. Yeah, it takes almost as long to load in here as it does in the Limsa. I'd still rather go to the Golden Saucer though, because at least there's something to do there. I don't really hate Limsa at all. It's just, it's unreasonably popular. Like, Trap Big? Oh. Oh. Double all. Man. No respect. I've never really, like, been completely enamored of the Golden Saucer. Like, my brother likes Chocobo Racing a lot. I've Chocobo raced a few times, never on Clyde though. It's alright. I like the mini games like Cuffacur, but I've never really, you know, been really about it. Ah, no. I didn't win nothing. I didn't win Jack Diddley. I like to put in 4 numbers, and it is numbers that I like to put in, and I like to put them in because I like to put them in. Do 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 do. I don't know what that is meant by that. But that person has apparently beaten at least the portals, savage, so. Done more than I have this tier in regards to savage, that's for sure. So tell me, viewer, do you think we'll get in by the 7-minute mark on this queue? Will you be forced to listen to me just prattle on about nonsense forever and ever, forever, ever, forever, ever, ever? The highest you can punch in Kuffaker is a 2000. I've never punched a 2000. So. I've gotten like, it's pretty easy to get into the 1980s, and I've gotten into the 1990s a few times. But I've never gotten the perfect 2000, which is like, I think if you get the bar directly in the center of the pink, then you get a 2000. But it's like less than half a pixel. Like you can't be off at all. One of my friends, they got obsessed with getting a 2000 in Kuffaker. So they just sat in the golden saucer for like 3 days straight playing Kuffaker until finally they got 2000, and they screenshot it, and they like just like couldn't believe their luck. They loved it. They were like, they practically had an orgasm. They were just like, oh yes, Kuffaker, oh 2000. And getting a perfect 2000 doesn't get you any more MGP, so I say what's the point? Now this minigame is based on the original minigame. I think that they had you do in 1.0 for botany. And I think I've played it like once. Basically, you have a set amount of time, and you just sort of like see if you can get anything. Okay, I'll level down. Oh, there's our cue. Hot damn. Siren Song C, here we go. Come on, last DPS. Don't let me down. Please. Thank you. I was afraid we weren't going to get in there for a while, and I was going to have to talk you to death and show you all these minigames that I don't actually care about. Oh, man. Woo! Which I guess that might sound bad. But, like, why would I be dishonest about it? Those things look freaky. We got, let's see, a Midlander chick, and some dude in some robes, and a guy with an Allegan book, so that's cool. I don't know why they're doing shield samba right away, but okay. Now, if you're on tank, you want to drag these guys over to Lise, because we might not be able to see it due to how I have stuff filtered, but she will do, yeah, there it is, she'll do AoE. And it helps them die slightly faster, so. None of these things hit very hard, so don't be afraid to conserve your cooldowns for the next pull. Let's see. Our healer is named Paige Turner. Don't have access to Quietus yet because they changed the order of skills. Normally we'd have Quietus. Oh, it's a female elephant. That's rare. I hope she's good. But we'll find out one way or the other. You can always, if you're interested in getting into doing big pulls, like a good rule of thumb is you're allowed to cause one wipe as a tank pretty much. Like, you know, it's for most people it's really hard to gauge how good another player is or like how good they are just by looking at their gear. Like it's actually, frankly, it's impossible to like full on gauge it. Like, you might look at someone and say, oh, they've got an ultimate weapon, so they're going to be good. And most of the time they will be. But it's also possible, you know, that they could have bots that are clear. So, you can't, you know, there's no guarantee. Plus, they might be drunk. Plus, they might just be feeling like screwing around. Yeah, part of interacting with people in this game is just the fact that, you know, they're humans too, and humans are fallible. That's a group stack. It's all pretty standard stuff that, you know, you've seen through the LP by now. Sea swallows all. Ooh. Not gonna lie, I do kind of like having Blood Spiller this early because it's what made Dark Knight feel like it actually got stuff during Stormblood. But at the same time, it's so weird that I'm just like, why must you lie to me? It's got a big dick potency, it really does. The strongest single target move on Dark Knight. But it takes a while to build up to get it, and you know, it's only good. Like, let's look at the potency, shall we? At this point in Dark Knight, let's see, 600 potency, okay. Versus Unleash. So Unleash is gonna need at least 4 monsters to keep up with Blood Spiller, so I guess if you somehow have built Blood up and you're fighting 3 or less enemies, then Blood Spiller would be the bee's knees. But, you know, nothing I do right now builds Blood for AoEs. So I would kind of rather have Quietus for dungeons, but ah, well. Eventually, Blood Weapon will make all of our globals, or at least all of our weapon skills. I'm pretty sure it's globals though. It'll make them give 10 blood on hit, so that'll be nice. Although, honestly, I think that Blood Weapon should either last twice as long by that point, or we should get, like, 5 blood on all of our weapon skills anyway. It's truthfully quite annoying to not have all our old blood building methods that we used to have. Because it was like default back in the day, like for blood to build off of, you know, weapon skills that happened under blood weapons. And it was actually anything physical. So auto attacks, quietus. So like with a big enough pull, if you had blood weapon up with quietus, you could build like, I think it was like 3 blood per physical contact. So like 10 enemies would give you 30 blood per quietus. So it was pretty crazy, right? Because like every other quietus, you know, was free basically under blood weapon in a big enough pull. And they've eschewed that. They've really, the player base was like complaining at them, fix Dark Knight, fix Dark Knight, fix Dark Knight. And what the player base meant was make it more complex and make it more fun. And make it better, you know, make it in line with the other tanks, make it better. And what do they do to it? They homogenize it, reduce its complexity, and made it quite boring, in my opinion. But I still like it enough, based just on its aesthetics, to you know, play it regularly too. It's actually one of my favorite tanks still because, well, I just love its aesthetic that much. It had a good story, and if you're on the shadow puddles, you gain magical vulnerability stacks and take damage. And then when it does blood burst, that's the big, you know, unavoidable party-wide attack. That's going to be a draw-in with the tether. The person needs to run away. And they seem to know. Seems we've lucked out with this party. They know what they're doing. And they're all active participants. My favorite. This next pull can be a bit risky, a bit risque. So don't be afraid to have saved your cooldowns on that boss, because, I mean, that boss does almost no tank damage, as you can see. Like, between the fairy and the occasional shielding that they were giving me, if they did give me any, really non-issue. As an X pull, you can do either way that you want. Because we have so many range jobs, it's going to be better for us to not hesitate here on these 2 hounds. These hounds hit really hard, by the way. But like if you had 2 melee or whatever, or like if you didn't have jobs that thrive off of doing AoE damage, like Dancer and Summoner, then you know, I would suggest just killing the dogs where they spawn instead of pulling them to this ghost. Because this ghost has some problems all its own. But to maximize the damage we're getting from the Dancer and from the Summoner, definitely want to pull everything here. And honestly, Dark Knight, even though we don't have a lot of AoE options right now, we still have a lot of our damage tied up in AoE, like Salted Earth. And with just 2 or more targets, and Flood of Darkness beats Edge of Darkness, so yeah, it's just one of those things. So what Seductive Scream does, obviously, is it makes you walk towards it, and then it does Flood, which will do really high damage, and you won't be able to dodge it because you'll be, you know, charmed. So. And we had really high damage, so we just vaporized it. Yeah, we got this freaky bitch. It's the Lorelei. And it's like an Irish mythology thing. Sings between cliffs that surround an ocean inlet or whatever, and basically sings sailors onto the rocks to kill themselves. I probably should have. Yeah, whatever. She has a sudden hit, and she does Morbid Advance and Morbid Retreat, which forces your movements and exactly in the way that you would think they would. So Morbid Advance is you walk forward. Morbid Retreat is you turn around and walk away. Sashay away. Like it's RuPaul's Drag Race or something. Hopefully they stick around so I can calm Page Turner. Well, that's like some sort of like Japanese folklore mask thing for her face, but like the name of the creature is Lorelei, which is definitely like Irish or Scotch Irish or something. For well, I'll calm the dancer anyway. Oh, I won the katana, but I didn't win the coat. That coat's a really good looking coat. It's basically the chivalrous coat, but it's for samurai or monk. Mainly samurai, but I mean monk can wear it too, so. You know what I should have done? I should have gone back to the start of the dungeon, because you get some interesting word bubbles from Alpha Node and them, but
Thank the 12.
it's actually a very atmospheric dungeon. I kind of ruined it with all my talking.
Everything here would appear to be in order. Good. Repairs should be completed by the time we return to the Misery, whereupon we shall resume our journey without further delay.
I swear, if I never hear another ghost story, it will be too soon.
With as many times as he's gone to trade spice, I wonder why nothing like that's ever happened to him before. Also, with a sea voyage this long, again, some amount of months would have to actually pass. So, like... Dude, like, we have got to be like 2 to 3 years at least into events now from the start of our adventuring career. Like, it is ridiculous.
I remember the sea, the smell of the salt, and the crash of the waves as we drew closer to Kugane.
Kugane. Hey, you were in the trailer. Or the intro.
The only port open to outsiders in Higashi, across the Ruby Sea from Othard, from Doma.
Hey, Garleans.
All
Aw.
the colors of the rainbow, all the peoples of the world, all in one place. I wish you could have seen it.
I wonder who she's talking to. Or, like, I wonder, like... Yeah, this is sort of like her version, Lisa's version of Edmund's, you know, sort of like musings or memoirs or whatever. So, if these are Lisa's memoirs, who's reading them? But, Alpha Node, we're still over the water. We're only on the dock, buddy. Drink like it's water now. Drink like it's water now. You're the most colorful thing that I've seen. You're damn right they were, son. The man from Ul'dah. Well, let's switch back to Dragoon now so we can continue getting EXP on it, since it's, you know, further behind. I was mainly Dark Knight for the queue times, and also so that we could run the dungeon at my pace, which I sort of defaulted to going really fast, and I probably shouldn't have, so I could have shown off more of the dungeon. But, ah, well. Oh, that is true. At the risk of stating the obvious, you are in a port. Surely there is a kind of generous soul here who will aid you for the right price? You cannot be the first travelers to seek passage to Doma. Shiokaze Holsteri. Hostility? Or hostelry? What does Shiokaze mean anyway? Is it like pleasant wind or pleasant breeze or something? I'll have to look it up. Alphanod's like all super kind with the pirate. And Alcé's like, fuck you, you fucking pirate.
By the 12. I thought Ishgard remarkable, but this... We are certainly not in Eorzea anymore.
A tavern is a tavern, Alphino, here or anywhere else. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to do what I do best.
Oh, 1,000 pardons, my lady. The signs of the seventh dawn, I presume. I hope your voyage was not too trying.
And you are?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me. Hancock of the East Aldenard Trading Company, at your service. On behalf of Chairman Lolorito, I bid you welcome to Kugane and invite you to take refreshments at our local offices.
Lolorito? I was aware his interests extended beyond the borders of Eorzea, but not so far as Kugane. Regardless, I am disinclined to accept the hospitality of grinning merchants, especially those who serve a master with whom we have such a difficult relationship.
It's one way of putting it.
My, such naked suspicion. I do hope that business with the Crystal Braves did not rob you of all faith in your fellow man. Or do you really think the chairman is plotting to drag you into another one of his grand schemes?
I beg your pardon? If you are trying to win my trust, you are failing quite spectacularly.
Oh dear, have I offended you? Once again, I must apologize. Too much time in the Far East, you see. One is compelled to talk in circles round everything here, and one finds oneself longing for the invigoratingly candid speech of the Uldan markets. Though I see now that this was neither the time nor the place to indulge said longing. Might I suggest that we continue this conversation at the company offices? Too many eyes and ears here, you understand. 'Twould be decidedly reckless to say any more.
If I may favor you with the invigorating candy you apparently crave, it would be decidedly reckless to follow a man I neither know nor trust. Give me one good reason why we should accept Lord Lolorito's invitation.
Now there's the young diplomat I was told to expect. Very well then. I shall explain. You understand that you are come to a most reclusive and secretive nation, yes? One whose borders are closed to foreign trade save at this single port. Then it should come as no surprise that a great many parties have vested interests here. Merchants like myself are a given, of course, but for every one of us, you may be certain there is also an agent of a foreign government. Many notable nations and empires have embassies here, you know, including, of course, the Garlean Empire, with whom you have such a difficult relationship.
Check out that turtle guy.
To paraphrase, Kugane is teeming with Imperial spies, one or several of whom could now be listening to our every word.
Something to that effect, yes. Beneath this veneer of bustling trade, a war for supremacy is being waged between world powers. One might say we were standing on the front lines, just not in public.
I still have my doubts, but he may have a point. I say we accept his invitation for now.
Quest accepted, whether you like it or not. Stealer of pants. They got aetherites out here too. But they do look different, that's for sure. I do not like the cut of that man's jib, not one bit. Gilson! Kanto. Loosely translated, the name means Spire of Drifting Souls. Far Eastern aetherite technologies have a long and storied tradition. I assure you, this particular example was constructed by the Onishishu, a collective of skilled craftsmen who guard their ancestral techniques with the utmost secrecy. Already did, bro. Already did. Market's next, huh? This is a big red bridge. That might... Kugane is the type of place that you might want to go into first person for. Just to look at all the detail they put into the town. Because they put a lot of detail into this town. They truly did. Oh wait, another tiny aetherite just to attune to. Might as well take advantage of this little tour we're being forced to go on. Kugane Dori. And get a word for gold, huh? They got Rogadin out here, Hellsguard, huh? Rest assured, your Eorzean Guild are welcome here. Alisei said something to us. Wonder what it was. That sort of thing you can always just make up in your head when you see it in a cutscene. It's like they talk to you and you didn't hear anything, but you know, based on their character traits, you might be able to, you know, think of something up, you know? Dang it. Damn, no, stop. Talk to Hancock. Ugh. Aijin guy. Aijin, or foreigners. To play off the word gaijin, which is Japanese for foreigner. Such bets are strictly forbidden. The Sekisai Gumi punish breaches of the peace quite severely. I have even seen foreigners permanently exiled for a single violation. Though to be fair, this is not common. More often than not, they are executed on the spot. Nope. Sounds like I could learn a thing or two for them with the strength of my blade, though. He got a kick out of that. The Garlean consulate, huh? Yep. You know who, huh? Well, we could do that, or we could go around and get all of our aetherites so that we can teleport anywhere in the city. And maybe I'll show you one of the jumping puzzles or two if I don't run out of time. This city has 2 or 3 jumping puzzles within it. It was one of the big deals they made when it was new. The fact that, you know, there was a lot of stuff to do in the city, you know, not just crafting, not just, you know, putting stuff on the market board, not just questing, not just, you know, all the normal stuff. Kugane Castle, huh? There's also, you know, it's also it's really big, for, you know, just being one completely unsegmented zone. That's one other unique thing about it, is unlike, you know, any of the other zones of cities we've been to so far, you know, it doesn't have 2 districts. It's just all one zone. And that's something I actually really appreciate because, well, you know, it makes it, you never have to zone while you're inside of Kugane to go anywhere else that's in Kugane. And at some point, it got its own residential district, which, my free company on Sargatanas actually was able to beat the housing rush and transition their free company house from the Goblet to Kugane, to Shirogane, which is the housing, you know, like Clyde's Free Company houses in lavender beds. Ul'dah has the goblet. Limsa Lominsa has mist. And Kugane has Shirogane. So that's pretty cool, you know. You see all the structures here, you know, there's quite a bit of structures about. You might notice that that tower over there, that's the whole hostelry or whatever. You can climb to the very top of it with one of the jumping puzzles. And it's a pretty difficult jumping puzzle. I've only done it a few times. And it took me ages to do it. I suck at jumping puzzles, I really do. It's one of the most frustrating things for me to attempt. Let's see. I think we only got to get the aetheryte on the pier, because I think that's the only one we're missing. But, it's quite the spot. It's quite the place. Oh, am I missing another one? Am I not? Did I not attune to everything? I guess maybe I didn't get the one by... Oh, I didn't get the one at Pier 1. Okay. There's a couple more I still haven't gotten. Very well, very well. I will rectify this. Hopefully rectify it before the time limit on the video runs out. I guess I'll tell you about what I'm planning to do in the next video, and that's... I'm basically going to take a step back from the main story for a video or two, and we're going to go back, and, you know, we got all these jobs up to like 65, right? I'm going to go through each job quest line and get through their level 65 job quests, just so that those can be done. Because there's going to be, that'll only leave 2 job quests per job left. We'll get to see enough story to make them interesting, but not, you know, it won't take so long that, you know, it'll be, because I want to show them all off. I want to show them off, and I want to, especially Dark Knights. But, you know, Samurai is also involved in Kugane, so it's gonna loop back here, obviously. And hot damn! I'm too hot. Hot damn! Call the police and the fireman. Get the Thavnarian consulate. And they're kind of interesting, because, like, I mean, Thavnair's on the map. We saw the island, or the peninsula, or whatever, but, and we've heard so many things about Thavnair, but we never go there so far. So I'm really curious about if we're ever going to get an expansion where we go there. I assume it would be lumped into any expansion where we go to Isilbard. Although it could be as simple as them saving it for a rainy day. They already have like the area made, and it's just going to be related to like a relic quest line or a you know, gearing thing or leveling thing. Now normally we'd be able to leave out to the Ruby Sea, but we can't go that way yet because you know, we don't have access to go there. The gate is closed. Whoop whoop whoop. Aww. But we'll get to go there soon enough. We just have to progress through the main story. But for now, let's go ahead and go all the way back to Kawertha Central Highlands. And I know this seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm cutting into the pacing here, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like